Welcome to the Higher Power Podcast, where your safe zone for discovering your true self is created. We are your hosts, Frank Sieben and Jill Humphreys. Hi everyone and welcome to the Higher Power Podcast, episode number 19 in the house.
My goodness me, 19 episodes already.
So guys, before we start, we really want to come back to our ritual and we will keep doing this and this won't change. So we're really beyond grateful for all the love and feedback we receive on our socials, Facebook, in emails. It's unbelievable, really. We are beyond grateful. Thank you.
Well, I can only say that 10 times over and over because we do this for you, with you, about us. We cover absolutely everything here. We keep it raw and we keep it real. And tonight is no exception because basically Frank and I both do a certain amount of audio reading, or we listen to videos or webinars or TED Talks, and things that really resonate with us are things that we like to share, aren't they, Frank?
Yeah, and we not only share them, we really implement these things into our life immediately. And this is powerful because you can really grab an idea from a book or from a TED Talk, from a video on YouTube. This idea can basically change your life if you implement it.
And that leads really very nicely into tonight's topic, which is the law of attraction.
Your word is your wand.
Yeah, exactly. And we've decided to do this again, really. We have covered basically on it because everything leads to this universal law, but I don't think a lot of people understand the power of your word is your wand. So Frank and I have decided to get our heads together, do a little bit of research, but also some personal experience we've had with this, and sort of dive deep into this subject a little bit more because we've had a few requests. So here we go.
Well, I first would like to start talking about worry and anger. These words are very powerful, that they influence your life. And if you get these words into your thoughts and into your mind, it's not really serving you. So how do these thoughts enter your mind unguarded?
That's a really good one. And I know you've done a little bit of research on this, Frank. So can you share what you found with us, please?
At first, it starts with a simple thought. Nothing really happens at that moment, but it enters your subconsciousness. And then you start thinking about it again. And you start paying attention. You look at it and you give it more meaning than it already had. And this second look is also adding more thoughts to it, probably even assumptions about a situation, about yourself, about somebody else. You start building a story. When you start building a story, you automatically start attaching emotions, and this will totally distort the picture you had originally. So by expanding all this, what is involved here already, the story gets bigger and bigger. And these words from the beginning become solid. And that's where the law of attraction comes into play. Because of repetition, everything you let into your mind will manifest for you and all the people involved. So this story reflects the way you see life. You choose that lens to see life.
Wow, that's really deep. And isn't it amazing how, while you were telling me that, the words power, frequency, signals, feelings, emotions, that is packed with lower vibrationary frequencies. And did you know, Frank, that worry and anger were two of the lowest vibrations, along with resentment and guilt?
Absolutely, yeah.
And so if the body stays in this heavy energy, the body gets sick.
The body gets sick, yes. But you can also, and this is the power of the language here as well, you can turn these around to gratitude, to love, to compassion. And if you let those words in, you're going to have a totally different lens and a totally different frequency you send out and a totally different outcome as well.
And that is really the basis of the law of attraction, because when we get in these lower vibrationary areas, you will attract like attracts like. You will tend to have these people that have these same kind of triggers as you. You will tend to attract that kind of person to you because their frequency matches yours. So it's really about being aware of what we feel when we say. And that takes me really to a piece of an article by Marcy Angel from selfgrowth.com. That fits in exactly with what you're talking about, Frank, because she says it is a magnetic energy pull. What we feel embedded in what we think becomes the main thrust of our point of attraction.
Very true.
This is the true key of the law of the universe. We must be fully aware of how we are feeling when we are speaking and thinking.
Ooh, yeah, there you have it. Benjamin Disraeli says, nurture your mind with great thoughts, for you will never go any higher than you think.
That's extremely powerful. And well, as you know, I shared a book with you, and this little book is called The Wisest Book Ever Written.
This is so true.
And I found it actually in my archives of You Are Creators, which are very popular on YouTube. And this book was written by Florence Scovel Shinn, who was in 1925 driven in a way to kind of recreate this book as her written Bible. She was a very prolific Christian and thought of the universe to be, weirdly or not weirdly enough, a place where if you came from love, you came from that gratitude and that belief, that your words were the power to create your life, create the love in your life, and create the place from the heart that you wanted to live.
Yes.
And I kind of shared it with you because I really was thinking about the law of attraction this weekend, because such a lot again has happened to us this week. And we are surrounded by some very powerful energies, and everybody wants to have their say, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, some people don't realize that the power behind these words, and this goes right back to that passage you've just shared. It's not until that moment's gone that you start thinking, well, what did that person mean by that?
And also, it is very important to understand that this law of attraction doesn't decide whether something is good or bad. It just hears certain words that will attract exactly this into your life. So if you say, for example, I don't want to get sick, the universe listens to the word sick. If you want something or not want something, the universe pays no attention to what you want or what you don't want. It only focuses on what you focus on. And this is the word sick. And you get sick.
And that is, again, is what Marty's shared with us. It's the energy you give to the words as you speak them as well.
Totally, yeah.
Because when you're speaking love to somebody, this is like chocolate. This is like coffee and cream.
Yeah.
This is like the most beautiful food you could ever eat.
Yeah.
But if you speak hate, this is like eating a really bad piece of fruit that's black, that's dark, that stinks.
And you've probably heard about these experiments with water. Okay, these experiments were done by Dr. Masaru Emoto, and he called it Consciousness and Intent on Water. And what he did was he invited people to talk to the water. And people said words like love, hate, peace, freedom to the water. And then he froze the water into icy crystals. And all the beautiful words had beautiful crystals. And the real horrible words like hate and distrust actually made the water turn black and the water stank. And now just imagine that our whole body is at least 80% made of water. So this shows the effect on words on our whole body.
Well, my grandmother used to say to me, my grandmother had the best, most beautiful plants I'd ever seen. And she used to say, because I go in and talk to them every single day.
Yeah, that makes all the difference.
I nurture them, I water them, I feed them, but I tell them how beautiful they are.
Yeah.
And I used to laugh at my grandmother and say, really, Nanny? Does that really work? And she
It really does
gave
work.
me a little money tree and I planted it. I did everything and I nurtured it. And she said, you go and talk to that tree like you would talk to your best friend.
Yes.
And I'll never forget it.
And you build a relationship. I mean, the frequencies which are sent out will be received by the plant. 100%.
Yeah. But the plant was beautiful. It was sort of like proud and serene sitting there, and it's like,
Beautiful,
thank you very much for loving me and thank you for looking after me. And
I want to also share with our listeners how I came in touch with the law of attraction and what happened to me and how I implemented.
Wow, yes, please, go ahead.
Because it wasn't too long ago, actually. It's just 2.5 years ago until I discovered that. My ex-girlfriend showed me a video, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, and I got to see it alone, and I had to watch it twice. It was so magical. It had such an impact on me. I tried to understand how I can implement it, and I want to give some nuggets how it worked for me. You decide what you want. You have a crystal clear formulation. It should be unrealistic, actually. Make a big picture. Then you choose your thoughts and emotions attached to this. Keep the end in mind and hold on to this picture. Don't let this picture get faded or cloudy. Remove all the meaning. That means don't interpret situations or don't judge any situations that can affect these outcomes you're asking for. Let go of the old, let go of your past, and forgive people, forgive situations, forgive yourself. Be grateful as you have already received what you're asking for, as if this would already be in your life. Then just allow it to happen. Be able to receive. This was actually the hardest for me because I never felt that I'm worthy receiving. If you see it through this lens, nobody can take that away from you. So no friends, no family, because you will get a lot of crap thrown at you. I tell you that. So nobody will take this away from you. If this picture is solid.
Yeah, I love that. And I've got to bring in Esther Hicks. I just have to, because this is Ask and It Is Given.
Love this.
Learning to Manifest the Law of Attraction, Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham. And I've got to quote her chapter 6 in the book, The Law of Attraction, the Most Powerful Law in the Universe. And in just a few sentences, it tells us everything that this law of the universe is. Every thought that we have vibrates. Every thought radiates a signal, and every thought attracts a matching signal back. We call that process the law of attraction. And the law of attraction says, that which is like unto itself is drawn. And so, you might see the powerful law of attraction as a sort of universal manager that sees to it that all thoughts that match one another are lined up.
Beautiful.
My journey to the law of attraction actually started 8 years ago when I first found Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
And through finding Bob Proctor, I found The Secret as well, eventually. And through watching The Secret, I found Joe Vitale. And through Joe Vitale, I actually did his course with Dr. Steve G. Jones, which is the Law of Attraction practitioner, which blew my mind, actually, because I'd heard of universal laws, and Bob Proctor goes through the 11 forgotten universal laws, which I know we could do a podcast on later on. But I mean, Joe Vitale actually said that we needed to do a task one day, and the task was go to your purse, and whatever you've got in your purse, go and give it to somebody. And I looked at my purse, I got £25 in my purse, and I thought, but that's our week's shopping.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no excuses, go out and do it. And me being a diligent student, I went to my local shop and I was shopping. And in front of me, there was a lovely lady with 2 little children, and she'd lost her purse and she couldn't pay for her groceries. And I kind of thought, has Joe Vitale sent this person to really test me?
Probably did.
Because I actually felt I was really being tested. And I thought, well, if I pay for this lady's goods, I don't think I can pay for my own. What do I do here? And without even thinking about it, I went up to her and I gave her all the money. Her goods came to £25. Her goods came to £20, sorry. And her bus fare and at home and everything. And it actually just covered everything.
Beautiful.
And she just was so grateful. And I came back home with nothing. I thought to myself, I'm not really happy. I've just given away something and I need this as well. I don't get how this works.
What happened after that?
I came home and I told Joe, actually on our calls, what I'd done. And he said, fantastic. You are blessed. You are so blessed.
You said, I'm still hungry.
And I said, well, I actually came home and I had hardly anything to eat. And he said, just wait. But believe, trust.
What happened?
I said, okay. I happened to be at the post office 2 days later, and a lady was just suddenly behind me calling my name, and I turned around and I said, oh, I haven't seen you for such a long time. I said, how are you? And she said, most importantly, how are you? She said, I've been seeking you for a week. And she said, you're very elusive, couldn't find you. And to cut a long story short, she said, once you've done whatever you need to do in here, can you come outside, please? I've got something for you. And she opened the boot of her car, and there was so much food in there, Frank. I didn't know which way to look first.
Oh, you told me that story, yeah.
And there was a fresh chicken, fresh eggs from her farm, the fresh produce she picked that morning.
Wow.
And she said, it's important that you have this for a repayment of taking care of my son.
Beautiful.
And I said, oh my goodness me. She said, he's done so well. She said, I know it's got to be 18 months ago. But she said, I really needed to seek you out and find you. I heard that you were here. And she said, I wasn't sure if you lived in the same place. Anyway, cut a long story short, we delivered it all. And when my son came home from school,
he was definitely shocked.
He looked at the floor and he said, where on earth are we going to put all this food, Mum? And I said, I will find a place for every bit of it. I said, we are truly, truly blessed.
Absolutely.
Because this was a gift.
That's what Joe Vitale said to you.
And when I came on and told Joe, he just looked at me and smiled and he said, congratulations. You must have still trusted, even though in your heart you were thinking, what is this man talking about?
The trust is important. The trust in yourself, trust into your intuition.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. And that you're really believe that you really believe you are the chosen one to receive.
But you see, that's one of the universal laws. Give.
Yeah, give.
Give without expectancy. Give without expecting any receiving or anything to come back. But it always, even if it's not the person you've given it to, it will come back in another way, shape or form. And I think that's where most of the fall down in an expectancy from relationships, from anything that you do, if there is an air of, I want something back from this, and you must give that to me, that is not a universal law.
Yeah, very true. That's beautiful to end our episode, I think.
Well, it's a little test, actually.
Yes.
And this little test, again, has come from Marty Angel from selfgrowth.com. And I think it's really good because if you've ever been questioning perhaps why things don't work when you've asked for them, this little test would be fun to try.
Fill us in.
So begin to say the words, I wish, and then fill in the blank. And keep doing this for approximately 1 minute. During this process, focus your attention on how you are feeling when you do this. If you begin to have the feeling of lack or wishing you had because you don't have, stop. Regroup and begin to think about all the positive things that you could do with what it is you are wishing for, and you will immediately begin to feel the difference. And this is what Abraham says. Go to the feeling, not the thing.
Yes.
When the feeling matches the vibration of the thing, you have perfect alignment. And it is at that moment that creation process of manifestation becomes more positive, creating a very strong positive energetic pull. And you will begin to manifest what you want to see in your life. And I love the way she finishes because you have a divine right to prosperity and there is enough abundance for everybody.
Wonderful. I love this, Jill. Thanks for this sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I would just like to wish all our listeners an exceptionally good week coming up. Love, peace and blessings. God bless. And look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yes, we are sending out love, gratitude, and light to all of you. And as we always say, thanks for listening. Spread the love, guys, because this is what it's all about. So this is Frank and Jill signing out from where your safe zone for discovering your true self is created. See you next week. Bye for now.